So we are going to see again the third problem. So two problems we had done in the last slide, and there we have seen that one normal problem we have done where you had this quadratic equation and you solved it, and in the second one you were not having this x term. There was only constant term and the x square term, and now you are going to see the third type where you have x term but the constant term is missing. So x square plus 6x is equal to 0. So here what you can do is you can consider this, the common term you have here is x, take it out, and that's going to be x into x plus x. So whenever you have something like AB equal to 0, we can say that either A equal to 0 or B equal to 0, or both can be 0. That's it. So here we are going to consider in the same way, this is one term and this is another term. So this x equal to 0 or x plus 6 is equal to 0. So when you say x equal to 0, the answer is 0 here, and when x plus 6 is equal to 0, then x is equal to minus 6. Okay, let's see the third problem, the fourth problem. So fourth problem, you can see, wow, this is little big and it seems slightly different. Of course, it seems to be different, but it is not that different. So mostly when you see a problem is complicated, mostly when you try to see into it, like you will see that it is not that complicated as you see here. So here the maximum power of any of these variables is 2. Therefore, this is a quadratic equation, though the number of terms are more. So what you can do is, as the maximum power is 2, you can combine these like terms and try to reduce this to x squared plus bx plus c in the same manner. So here what you can do here is bring all this. So whatever you have in the left hand side of this equation, the equal to this one, you bring it to the other side. So when you bring this part to the other side, the sign changes. So this will become minus, this will become minus, and this will become plus. So that is what is done here. So this, when you bring it to the other side, so this part I'm just writing it here because you have to subtract it. So this x square, I'm writing it below this 2x. Similarly, 6x is the x term. Again, I'm writing it below this x term and the constant term below this. With the sign changed, because it has come to the other side, the sign will change and this side is going to be 0. So then you just add these two. So 2x square minus x square is x square, and plus 2x minus 6x is 4, minus 4x, and minus 1 plus 5 is 4. That is equal to 0. So you can see that this has come to the same form as ax square plus bx plus c equals 0. And solving this again, the same old method, the same format. You can take it and this one you can just take it, and you can see that this is positive, therefore both this middle one should be nothing but sum of the two terms. If this is negative, should be difference of the two terms. So 1 and 4, 2 and 2. So you can see that sum of this is 5, whereas sum of this is 4, and we have 4, therefore this is the right one. And now write it down in this way. That's what is written here. I don't have to write again. I'll just leave it. So you have these two terms, 2 and 2, and because both are equal, and because negative sign is, both will be having the same negative sign. Therefore, x is equal to, here also you get x is equal to 2, here also you get x is equal to 2. Therefore, the only one answer which you get is x is equal to 2. That's it. We go to the next problem. Before we go to this problem, I just wanted to, this is again the same repetition. I think I don't have to do it again. So two different real roots. If this is positive, I think we have already discussed this. And this is 0 means you will have one real root. And if it is negative, you are going no real root. That is going to be complex. So that's not required now. Come to this problem 5. Solve for x. X squared minus 5x is equal to minus 6. So here nothing but the same thing. This is a x squared, bx, c, but c is in the other side, so bring it to left hand side. So when you bring it to the left hand side, that becomes positive. Therefore, this is x squared minus 5x plus 6 equal to 0. So here I just want to show, suppose you take this 6 and differentiate this 2. You can still do in this way because you just write down this. This is 1 into 6 or 2 into 3. These are the two values you have. As this is positive, it should be sum of the two values. So 1 plus 6 is 7, 2 plus 3 is 5. Therefore, you have x term as 5. Therefore, that is the value. So you can also solve this by the regular method which I have shown earlier. So what you can do is write this x here. Again, write this x here. This is equal to 0. And one will be 2, the other will be 3. And what the sign here? What is the sign you have for this? Negative. So the larger number will have negative and the smaller number will have again negative. Why negative? Because this is positive. Obviously both should be negative. Okay. So therefore x is equal to 2, or I can say x is equal to 3. So these are the two answers. And now we are going to see this when you apply this in the formula, how to do it, because we've been doing this by factorizing. Now we'll see when you apply in this given formula earlier, like minus b plus or minus root of b square minus 4ac by 2a, then how you're going to get this value. So what is your a value here in this equation? A is nothing but coefficient of x square, which is 1. B value is coefficient of 5, which is minus, sorry, coefficient of x, which is minus 5. And C value is 6. Apply that here. So when you apply this, B is minus 5 minus B plus or minus root of B square, again minus 5 the whole square, minus 4 into A into C divided by 2A. A is again 1. So when you solve for this, you can see that you are getting this values at 2, 3 or 2. See, normally that's what I said, this is such a lengthy process, and you can see that this you are getting this answer in just one step. So that's the reason you are going for factorizing, unless otherwise it is required. Sometimes you may not be getting a proper value here, so you may not be able to get this in that case like that. It will not be real. So in that case we had to go only for the formula. So let's see the next problem. Solve for y. So here you have this y square is equal to, again the same thing. It's a quadratic equation because the maximum power is 2. Instead of x we have y here. So bring everything to one side. So when you take it to the other side, this becomes positive, this becomes negative. So y square plus 2y minus 2 equal to 0 is the equation. Again, we might try to solve directly. As I said last problem, it was quite easy, we got it. Now we are going to write this 2 constant term here, and this is nothing but 1 into 2. There is no other option here. So 1 into 2. But the thing is, the sum of the two, this is negative. Therefore, the difference of the two should be in the middle. The difference of the two is only 1, which you don't have in the middle. Therefore, factorizing is not that easy. So we will just leave that and go for this formula. So here, what is A? A is nothing but coefficient of y square, which is 1. B is 2, coefficient of y, and C is minus 2, constant term. Apply that here. So you're going to apply this minus B, minus of 2 and b square, and then apply all this. Then you're getting this as 12, and 12 again can be split as root of 4 into 3, where 4 comes out as 2. So therefore you will have 2. So you can see that the 2 is common in all this, so you can remove the 2 from all. So the balance what you have is, like here, this will get cancelled. The 2 you can take it as common, and the balance what you have is minus 1 plus or minus root 3 divided by 2. This 2 and 2 will get cancelled, and the balance what you have is minus 1 plus or minus. So taking plus root 3 or minus root 3. So these are the two irrational values you have. Root 3 is irrational, right? So here factorizing is not that easy whenever you get some irrational numbers. We'll go for the next one. We'll see in the next slide.